What up, everybody? This is episode 62. 62 of these motherfuckers of the Illogical Sense podcast. And out here in the Bay is me, Mr. Busby.
And over here is JC No Hundreds back in the Bay.
Yeah.
Tweet, hezzy, spin move, fillet.
Yeah, if y'all can understand, if y'all want to understand English, JC is back in the live in the flesh.
I'm here, man.
In the Bay, he's visiting. So what's up with you, my nickel?
Chilling, man. It's good to be back, man. Real good to be back here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have Monday Night Football on. I'm not gonna watch Raw right now because a lot of fuckery's been going down in the WWE.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, how you enjoying your stay back here?
It's cool. Drove in on Friday. Just been kicking it with the fam. I brought the whip with me, so
oh shit,
I brought my work with me, so I'm still out here Ubering
making that moolah,
exactly.
baby.
But it's been cool, just it's the first time I've been back since I left. So,
back in June, yeah. Left me high and dry, you motherfucker.
Ain't like we stopped.
Feel me? I know ain't like we stopped, but it's been kind of lonely over here. Kind of.
Man, you be at the movies every Friday
by myself.
I be seeing your Snapchat and your IG stories. You be out, you living life.
You don't go on IG story, bro.
I don't mean I don't see.
Just because I tell your black ass to go see it. What the fuck? Anyway, what's been going on in the world? What's been going on in the world? Well, right now, the world's in mourning or outrage, bamboozled. Because the Bay Area's very own Lil B got jumped this weekend.
Yeah. Well,
shit.
The festival was
the Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud festival.
I was really thinking about going to that shit too.
I was too, until I saw the prices and I looked at the rundown. I was like, we've seen all them.
Yeah. Plus I saw Schoolboy Q. I didn't really care about seeing Lil Wayne. I really didn't care about seeing Triple X. Definitely. Excedrin, whatever. And who else was there? There's a lot of people there I just didn't really care about seeing. Just a lot of...
Saw Travis plenty of time.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a whole bunch of just hype beast shit. Yeah, I'm cool off that shit.
Yeah, and Lil Wayne ain't the Lil Wayne that I know from way back when, so...
Lil Wayne's Lil Wayne, though.
He ain't the Lil Wayne I remember. So, of course, everybody was like, all right, well, it is what it is. But then word came out out of nowhere. Lil B couldn't perform on his set because he got jumped. Which sparked a whole lot of controversy considering who the culprits were, which were A-Boogie with the hoodie and P&B Rock.
Yeah.
You know how this stemmed, right? Because I asked you where
I didn't know how it happened until I did some research, and apparently it was because Lil B went on a whole rant about New York rap and said a majority of these New York rappers right now all sound like Dej Loaf right now. I'm more of a New York rapper than these niggas. That's pretty much what he said on the tweet. It wasn't lying. Besides Dave East, like all these other New York rappers, like the young New York rappers,
right? They
do sing and do all this other bullshit. So it's like it wasn't like he was lying,
right?
So I don't know what happened, what transpired, what led to B getting jumped. But Lil B was by himself backstage, and niggas had their cameras out, and A-Boogie and P&B Rock and their entourage just jumped him.
It's like 10 of them.
10 of these niggas kicking him and all this shit. And what got me even more just like so crazy about it is that people were filming this shit, but not one person stepped in to try to stop that shit.
Not one.
Not one Bay rapper, nobody backstage.
Everybody on social media talking about thank you, Bass God, and pumping up the Bass God curse and all that. But when push comes to shove, literally, push comes to shove, everybody just standing still. Like,
yeah, he has over 2.4 million followers, and not one of them niggas tried to help him. That had to be a humbling experience for his ass.
I'll tell you what was also a humbling experience. He took 10 of them swinging and kicking, and he got right back up.
He got right back up with no scratch and went on stage and told everybody what happened on stage. Told everybody what happened, but he said, it's all good. It's nothing but love. I still got a lot of love for him. Even went on Twitter and said that he's not going to do nothing and said that he still has love and throwing positive vibes. Well, that's some grown-ass man shit. I gave him a lot of respect, and the internet did too.
No, definitely a grown man move, but I could rest assured there's some street grown men
I said this
who got love for B.
Oh, yeah.
And they not letting that slide if they catch them.
Of course they were going to let that slide. And I said this straight up. If that was someone like Filthy Rich or one of these other hood Bay rappers and that shit happened to them.
All be gunplay.
Oh, yeah. That shit would have been canceled. That whole concert would have been canceled. It would have been over. You know, but Lil B just had to be the grown person, and even A-Boogie went on Twitter and said like, yeah, you know, shout out to the West for uniting and all this other shit. But it was some hoe ass shit. He's still a hoe for that. Him and PNB Rock.
Oh, definitely. That's
both of them niggas.
That's some
hoes.
whole ass moves.
I
mean, you getting upset because of comments like that, and then you give a poor jumping like that. Like it just leads me to believe that Dej Loaf got better hands than them too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's basically what it boils down to.
And even if you look at the clip, man, they all had the backpacks on and shit like that.
Right.
You look like some hoes.
Like y'all jumping with designer fashion on. What the hell kind of?
That's New York rip. Man. That's New York niggas, man. All these New York niggas are fucking emotional. Not all. If y'all from New York listening to this, you know it's not emotional, but some of you niggas give each other a badass name. So,
yeah.
No pun intended.
But that wasn't all that took place. Like everybody was putting hands on each other at this damn festival.
Really?
Yeah, because then you had H.E.R that went on stage.
H.E.R, yeah, and he went in and he decided to crowd surf and shit like that. And I don't know, he felt like some fan was in there touching him inappropriately or something, so he started hitting him with the fucking microphone. I don't know why.
Damn magic wand. Just yeah.
And he goes on social media and says, "Oh, it's just self-defense and all this other shit," even though he has a fucking case pending for domestic violence and shit.
I saw that clip. That don't look like self-defense.
He's a little, man, we all know he's a little hoe, man. Music aside, like I said, we talked about his album on this podcast and shit like that, but I can't defend that nigga at all. He's just a hoe ass nigga. He's the personification of a hoe ass nigga. So, whatever, man. Fuck him.
And that was Rolling Loud for
that
you
was
in our
Rolling Loud.
backyard.
Like, I wish I went out. Part of me kind of wish other half was just like, man, I need a better lineup. So.
Nah, I was good off it, man.
Yeah, we cheap.
So. Yeah, so I mean, you know, they doing that. Meanwhile, across the country, Trump still being Trump. You have U.S. Army Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, who was buried on Friday or Saturday, one of the days. For those who don't know, he was killed in an ambush in Niger with 3 other American soldiers on October 4th. He was 25 years old. He left behind a wife, 2 kids, and they're expecting their 3rd child. Trump got on the phone and spoke with his widow, Maisha. And, you know, for all this talk about respect the veterans, respect our military, he got on the phone and told her, well, he knew what he signed up for and kept it pushing.
I don't know what to say, man. Like I tell it, like I said, every week, this nigga does some shit.
There's something else every week.
Never fails. Every day. It's every 24 hours he does some stupid shit. And at this point, like I tell you guys every week, I don't want to talk about this nigga. I don't care about this nigga. It's whatever. I'm numb to this nigga now.
Well, you're about to be even more numb.
I've been numb.
You're about to be even more because he's bringing up those files from the JFK case, and you know he's publicly pushing that to the forefront. Meanwhile, you have to do research to find out that he's planning on putting in writing to bring out retired Air Force people. Yeah, I saw that shit. And all that tells me is he's gearing up for World War III.
Well, yeah, he wants to start a war, but I have a feeling this is going to be a major ass pushback with the country. They're going to stop that shit from happening.
Yeah.
Like he really feels he's really powerful. He thinks he's some dictator, but he doesn't understand what the laws that our forefathers gave with the separation of power and shit. So, whatever, man.
That's
next subject. Off that shit.
Yeah.
Talk about sports now, I guess.
You want to dive into sports?
What else was there to talk about before we go into sports?
We can dive into sports.
What else is there to talk about? I know you don't. You're the sports guy.
We got entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Entertainment. Let's talk about entertainment before we get to sports. Okay. So I won't get pissed off already.
Shout out to Gucci and Keyshia.
Gucci.
Of course, 10/17.
2017.
Burr. That was the official day of their wedding. It was a big, extravagant bonanza.
Did you watch the wedding?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
but I got fed enough on Twitter.
Yeah,
I knew what was going on.
I saw the shit too. Now, was it live or was it?
No.
taped?
So what they did was they were releasing everything in parts.
So
they got married that night, and then they released
all the stuff on social media.
No, on BET.
Oh,
it's a 10-part series.
Yeah.
So they got married at the Four Seasons Hotel in Miami. Wedding costs around $1.7 million.
BET paid that shit.
I guarantee, easy. Like if they gonna pay it, you might as well run with it. And it was a who's who in the crowd.
Yeah, Big Sean,
Diddy,
Ross.
Carucci,
Gucci was there?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yachty, Sean and Janae, Monica, 2 Chainz. They was out, showing love and,
And he looked happy.
congratulate. Man, he's
Cutting the cake with a fucking medieval sword, gold sword and shit like that. You can tell BT paid for that shit.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He like I said, for those who keep saying they don't like this new Gucci, I don't know how somebody better in their lives makes you upset, but
Because they want the old Gucci, they want that hood rat shit. He's still dropping hood rat shit, but he matured now.
Right.
He got out of jail. He found that he got the love of his life that's still standing by his side. That nigga happy.
Easy.
He changed.
Definitely.
He changed for her. He changed for himself.
support makeover Gucci, man. Like he doing big things. He doing positive things. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? He's doing things that allows him to go on tour finally.
For
You know what I'm
real.
saying? Instead of being locked down.
Locked down,
So-
still dropping fucking mixtapes out the ass. I
Right.
don't know how that was possible when he was in jail.
So shout out to the Wobsters and congratulations. Next topic at hand, we got Billboard, and they're announcing that they got new factors for the charts going on in 2018.
So I was trying to look into that shit, and I didn't really like I saw it, and I was like, this looks interesting. So I didn't really get into it. So what's the whole deal with it?
So basically, you know how they had to take into account the streaming
Yeah.
initially and going on with changes? Well, now they're also factoring in the streaming with subscriptions versus the streaming that's
On
pretty
YouTube?
much ad supported.
Okay.
So what they're going to do is you have the streaming services like Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, Spotify, and then the premium SoundClouds. Those are going to actually be given basically more of, for lack of better words, they're going to pay more attention to those initially.
okay.
And then for the ad-supported services such as YouTube, the free version of SoundCloud, and all those will become secondary in response to that.
Okay. That sounds hey,
For me, it's long overdue.
that is long overdue. So you don't have to count YouTube and all that shit
Right.
no more. That's almost like cheat codes.
Exactly.
That's how they said how what's his name? How Post Malone got that had the number one record on for Rockstar or whatever.
Right,
what
right.
they did is they put the hook on repeat and they put it on YouTube so
Yeah.
it could get streamed, so it could add to the stream revenue. So that helped them get to number one. It's like some cheat code shit.
Basically. So this kind of, I guess you want to say it evens the playing field. I mean, I still feel there's some improvements they could even do with that, but this is a step towards the right direction.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really cool.
They're at least moving that way.
Moving that way.
So we got Super Bowl. We finally got our performer.
Yeah, Hove turned it down, so they went to somebody better. Well, not better, but not better. Almost equally as better.
Infamous.
Infamous. If when it comes to the NFL, yeah, pretty infamous. Motherfucking Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Is going to be doing a halftime show next year. So shout out to Timberlake, but Twitter, Black Twitter specifically, pretty much does not forget, and they know what happened the last time Justin Timberlake took the stage, and yeah, they want an apology for Janet.
Look, man, Timberlake, my guy.
Yeah,
I'll always go to bat.
He's my boy too.
You know what I'm saying? I always go to bat for him, but at the same time, we need to see Janet at this halftime performance for the culture. Like it's only
has
right.
to happen because
she didn't take her
He's
top
the one
off.
that ripped it off.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's the one that got in trouble.
Yeah, he left her high and dry.
Right.
He may look at it differently. It's full of debate, but he left her high and dry, and she got blackballed pretty much by the NFL and CBS, and her career never was the same.
No.
I mean, just for one titty. I remember watching that shit live with my mom, and I remember when it happened, I was like, did I just see that? And he's like, what, her titty got ripped out? I was like, yeah, I saw that. Oh, okay. And then we just went about our business. I didn't really care about it.
It was magnificent.
And then I go, well, yeah, that's debatable.
It was magnificent.
That was like a star piercing. I didn't even know those existed. The star nipple piercings
Whatever.
and shit. That was just that wasn't. I wasn't really turned on by it. But everybody else,
I'm in the minority.
I guess I was because I went on. That wasn't even social media.
Yeah, it was 2004. Huh?
Yeah, it was like forums, and they had the screenshot, or they had the photo, like literally on Google, like it was all around the fucking world. No one gave a fuck that the Patriots won. Who did the Patriots go against that year?
Carolina.
Yeah, that was a great ass game, and no one gave a damn after that. They just cared about that one nipple.
If only social media was around.
Oh, that would have been all over the world, man. The FCC got all mad and shit like that, and they got mad at Timberlake, and he got invited to the Grammys unless he went on stage and apologized to CBS, and he did that, and Janet didn't, and it was a big ass mess for one fucking titty.
Yeah.
Now, if the roles were reversed, or the skin color was reversed, say it was Nelly, No, say it was 50 Cent and he ripped off Britney Spears' top.
First of all, 50 Cent wouldn't have been on.
Just hypothetically, just go with it.
I mean, I'm trying to give you the best hypothetical.
Okay, how about if it was Usher and he ripped off Britney Spears' shit?
Yeah, the rain would have poured down on Usher.
Oh, yes, it would have. Oh, yeah, it would have.
Let it burn.
Like, oh, yeah, his whole career would have been never been the same, and Britney would have left him high and dry.
Oh, yeah.
But, I'm still going to watch it because it's Justin Timberlake. And if Timberlake is coming, if it's announced that Timberlake is going to be performing at the Super Bowl, then that means an album is incoming. Either before or after the Super Bowl.
What's the over-under?
Because when Beyonce performed at the Super Bowl, yeah.
But what's the over-under in sync comes out for at least a song or two as a whole collective?
They got 15 minutes. Ooh.
There goes Vernon Davis.
Fucking sweet potato yams ass nigga. Over under. I'll say they got 15 minutes. He has to go through hits. I say a little bit over. What about you?
I'll give it about a 0.5.
Yeah.
So set the line at 0.5 for now. We'll see how it goes.
That's what everyone's demanding. They're demanding apology for Janet, bring Janet, and an NSYNC reunion.
Definitely.
But he already gave him an NSYNC reunion years ago.
Right.
And he's not. And then when they get back together, they're going to ask those questions. Oh, you guys going to get back together? And Tim has to give that little seesaw answer and shit all the damn time. In reality, fuck them niggas.
Damn.
That's what he's thinking. In reality, fuck them niggas. There's a reason why I went solo.
He gonna go on one of them Ray J rants. I don't give a fuck.
JC Seth Chavez, Joey Fatone, Chris Kirkpatrick, you can get your ass kicked. Motherfucker, fuck y'all niggas. But, yeah, shout out to him. It's going to be, hopefully, the new album. I remember, when it was getting reported he's working on his album, I saw him in the studio with Pharrell, Timbaland, and shit. Man. So he got something cooking.
Right.
But what do you think was Timberlake's best album?
The best one?
Yeah, his best album. He only released 3 of them. I'm not counting Part 2, 2020. That shit was trash.
I mean, was Future
Sex Love Sounds.
Future Sex Love Sounds was...
That was his Thriller.
That was his evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I still say Justified.
Yeah.
Justified just had hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, all produced by Pharrell, majority. Right. And all those beats were supposed to be for Michael. Yeah. So in a way, that was Michael's record. That could have been Michael's comeback album. Right. But... it is what it is. Shit happens for a reason.
Definitely. That's actually the perfect album to debut as a solo artist. Yeah. And evolve from the image that you relayed with the band. Mm-hmm. But like I said, Future
Sex Love Sounds. Love Stone is still the greatest song of human history.
I won't go that far. Awesome.
To me, it is. That's one of the greatest songs ever. You can play that right now.
I mean, we can be one of the greatest for sure.
Love Stone, I think it's one. Yeah, it's not the, but it's one of them. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's good. You better perform that shit. I would say the first half of 2020.
The first, no, there's only one. In my opinion, part 1 is the only one.
No, there were 2.
I know there were 2, but shit.
That was part 1. Yeah. So what I'm saying is part 1 was that album.
Yeah, he should have just left the rest in the fucking vault for part 2.
You gotta capitalize and make money, man.
He had to make money. It was his first coming. He already sold 1 million copies in the first week. And then after
Why not go for more?
Yeah, he sold 300. He was really disappointed about it. I remember that interview. He was low key pissed that the shit didn't do that well. I remember that. He was low key pissed the second half didn't sell that well.
They didn't even try to push it like the first one. I mean, it was the music itself wasn't doomed to fail. It was how they dropped it. I mean, they dropped it 8 months later,
very randomly. They knew there was another half coming because he said he recorded hella shit, so he just wanted to drop it all at once. But at the same time,
this was before it was mandatory where you didn't need to have a release date. You could just drop it. Everybody go stream it.
Yeah, no, this was before. This was they were trying to. You remember when iTunes used to do the preview stream and shit like that? Right. Now they just drop it. They have Apple Music now. So. Exactly. But yeah, shout out to Timberlake. He's going to put on a really dope ass halftime show. And when it comes to, I guess, relationships, Cardi B and Offset had a little fight online or whatever.
All I took away from this was she accused him of stealing her blanket.
No, it started like this. You go on her IG story and she's posting in between her titties because she's wearing a revealing top. It said single. And on Offset's Instagram, he put up the peace emoji, the 2-finger emojis. And it was like, oh shit, they just broke up. And then she's still posting little boomerang, little petty shit. And then a few hours later, in the morning, Cardi posts another IG story like, yeah, I over exaggerated a bit. I just go crazy, but yeah, like I'm sorry. You want to go to Waffle House on me? I'm like, what? And then Offset posts another picture of Cardi, and he's like, I never not lose, loose.
Yeah, niggas still don't know how to spell, man.
They're from Atlanta, man.
It ain't even got to do with Atlanta. There's cats out here that know how to spell.
They're just being dumb. And then she goes on Twitter and says like, oh, I just overreacted because I thought he stole my blanket, so I just went crazy on him.
All I took from that, I didn't dive into it. I just saw on Twitter.
Yeah.
All I took away from that is this is a situation of what happens when your girl's hungry versus when she's actually fed.
Yeah,
like that's basically what the hell I took
pretty
from
much.
that.
They act like little kids, man.
Yeah, nonstop yelling and pouting, and kicking. Everything's your fault, but there's stuff in the fridge to make. And then all of a sudden, when you say, "Hey, you hungry? Let's go get something to eat. Let's calm that temper down." Next thing,
they're like a little child.
Yeah, you're the best thing on earth. You can't do no wrong.
I don't know why women do that shit, man.
That's one of the things I stopped trying to understand is how what makes them tick. I
don't think they know what makes them tick.
That's why I stopped.
And they try to figure us out, but guys are more straightforward with the shit. Very straightforward.
Easy.
Speaking of being straightforward, Gabrielle Union has been very straightforward lately.
Yeah, she
very straightforward.
She shut down social media, but I had to dive in, and
you had to do that shit. So hopefully, Busby don't have to go through that.
You should have though, because it was actually they overblew it and made it sound like how they portrayed it. But really, she was actually dropping some gems. Like her whole thing was she's off on Sway in the Morning. She's promoting her book. We're gonna need more wine. And in the midst of it, they start talking about sexuality. And she was very open and honest. And the funny thing of it was Sway initiated it.
Yeah, Sway always be initiated.
So he opened up that talk with, so when was the first time you ate booty? Like he initiated it. And her response was like, it was funny. Like, I'm not gonna give too much away because for the listeners,
everyone saw it.
Go out and check. Now, there's still some people who ain't seen it. You ain't seen it.
Well, I saw it. I just kept scrolling. There's a difference.
So basically, what she was saying in a nutshell was, if you're offering, to go down on your partner, there's no reason why you should be afraid to ask for it to be returned. And even going outside and doing other things, which includes anal foreplay. Or in that case, eating the groceries. And so Twitter then went wild and then took it for, oh my God, she's out here eating Dwayne Wade's ass and, all this other stuff. And initially when I saw it, I hadn't, did the research on it.
Jokes are better than facts, bruh.
Right. So I go on and I was just joking. I'm like, well, are we shocked? Because, y'all saw Love and Basketball.
Yep. She was looking at a nigga's ass.
Yep, and said she licked the sweat off it. And I put, in quotes, that was said by Shawnee with the big ass titties.
Yep. And then there was that one scene, and there was this one meme I saw of Dwayne Wade stretching, having his
his ass up. Yep.
And then
took that ass up, big fella.
Took that ass up, big fella.
His eyes were closed, like he didn't want to see the sinful act that was being.
Or that Lion King shit.
Right. So of course, they went on. So she saw it. And she went on a series of tweets, and she actually really defended herself pretty well. Basically, what she said was, she was talking about the reciprocation. If you're going to please your partner, there's no reason why you should be afraid to have your partner please you in return.
Yeah, pretty much.
And she went back talking about the advice in her book, and especially diving in with sexual expectations and judgments. Judgment about sexual gratification is what keeps people sexually repressed and having uneven sexual experiences.
I mean, in a nutshell, she's saying she's going to please her man no matter what.
Right.
That's how, if she wants to be with her man, she has to please her. And that's how I am when it comes to relations. I'm a pleaser. I want to see my partner pleased at the end of the fucking day.
I'm a Cancer, so it's against my nature to not please. Like, I will make sure that you catch at least 4 before I even think of calling it a wrap.
See, and I'm a Scorpio, so if y'all know about Scorpios, man, we know what the hell we doing. Hell yeah!
And it's Scorpio to that, because
I know that'll be extra pause. But yeah, it is Scorpio season, by the way, people. Birthday's coming up in a few weeks, so ladies, Word to J5. Ladies!
You just had to wait for me to come back so you could make me feel uncomfortable at this damn
Hey, man, it would have been uncomfortable either fucking way, bruh.
shit. Where the Hennessy at, man?
No, that Hennessy's being saved. It's going to be saved for something.
But yeah, when it comes to pleasing your partner, what your boys and what your girls think should not come into play. That you're not in a relationship with them.
See, this is why we should have a female on here to discuss this shit, because it would have been comedy.
I believe it.
But, you know, that ain't happened.
Right. But at the end of the day, please your partner.
Pretty much at the end of the day.
Focus on y'all. You ain't got to worry about what everybody else be talking about.
Exactly.
That's how you end up losing in the long run.
Exactly.
And speaking of losing in the long run,
flag.
We had another week of football.
Huh?
Oh, you don't want to talk?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna start this off. Thursday night, big game.
Yeah,
Raiders.
right? Yeah.
Raiders and Chiefs. There was also, it was pandemonium Thursday night because it wasn't just football. So you had that. You had Game 5 of National League Championship Series. So you had the Dodgers and you had the Cubs. Mm-hmm. And then you had Lonzo's coming out party.
Pause.
No, that's not a pause.
I
It's
know,
just coming out party on the court, man. You pausing everything, man.
Pause.
So I went to Buffalo Wild Wings with the homie.
Mm-hmm.
And we watching everything. Chilling.
They fucking sitting there like Batman, huh?
Eating my wings, you know, that Caribbean Jack and what is it, habanero?
Mm-hmm.
Scumping them down, man.
Bet you were.
So we watching, and Cat Enrique Hernandez comes out, bases loaded in the third, just smacks grand slam right over. Mm-hmm. Kid you not, Buffalo Wild Wings, man. It's been lit all down in L.A.
Oh, yeah. Of course, because they're going to the World Series for the first
Buffalo
time.
Wild Wings, when that ball went over the wall, it was a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing but, man, just the whole city's feeling good. And then, so we're diving back and forth with the Raiders game.
I was watching that game. That game was amazing. That game was amazing. As soon, pretty much in the first, who had the ball first? The Raiders had the ball first? I forgot who had it first, but it literally went back and forth. When Derek threw for a fucking dope ass touchdown from Cooper, and then Cooper, and then it was a flag, but it wasn't a flag. And then when Alex Smith had to pull an Alex Smith, and they scored.
Chiefs went and scored.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of them games, huh?
And Cooper came back and scored again.
So I was like, oh, it's about to be one of them games, and it came down to the wire.
But before it came down to the wire, shit popped off.
Marshawn.
Yep. Because you had Derek went out for a run, went into a slide, and Chiefs defensive back Marcus Peters gave an unnecessary late hit.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
So then Raiders linemen, they immediately ran up on Peters.
Yeah, that's my quarterback. The fuck?
Swept away. And out of nowhere,
Marshawn Lynch runs
you just
off.
see a helmet and dreads just swinging.
Yeah.
And he just flies and he grabs Marcus.
Marcus out.
Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters.
Tries to get him out of the way, tries to be a buffer in between his teammates. And, for those who don't know, Marcus is Marshawn's cousin. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to defuse the situation. Then the ref gets in Marshawn's face.
So then he grabs the ref.
Marshawn grabs the ref. And when you play it in slow motion, it's one of the funniest things you'll see. The ref's eyes
just gets wide.
Just told a story of fear and I will not allow this. And as soon as the fingertips touched his jersey, his eyes got wide and the flag
went up in the air.
Flew out. And next thing we know,
Marshawn got
Beast
ejected.
Mode was no longer in the game.
But he changed it to his clothes and went to the stands and watched the rest of the game with the fans.
And chilled with the people. He's a man of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad he stayed because he had prime seats for the rest of a great game.
It was. They didn't need his ass at all.
Well, we were down by 10. It's what, 30 to 20, something like that?
Yeah, because I think I turned away from the game for a minute to the fourth quarter, and I was like, oh, they got the ball back? Oh, shit. And then...
Right, so then defense held their own. Shout out to...
Nope.
Pick.
That was a fucking rainbow. That was a... What's that called? A moon...
Hail Mary?
No, it was like a moon throw or whatever, full moon throw. Whatever, we're watching Monday Night Football, and Nick Floyd... What's his name? It don't fucking matter. The quarterback from the fucking Eagles decided to throw it to the fucking moon for no fucking reason.
Carson Wentz.
He threw it over the moon. It was a rainbow pass. That was stupid. Like he threw that game.
Pick
filet.
But shout out to big little homie Khalil. They held his own. Shout out to our newest signee, Navarro Bowman. Came in and had 11 tackles. Did what they needed to do. Got the ball back. So I'm at the Lakers game at this point.
And let me take over. So
no, you don't need to because you don't want to talk about football.
No, I do want to talk about football, especially this shit. I don't want to talk about Niners. There's a difference.
You don't want to talk about football.
No, I don't want to talk about the Niners. You were watching your fucking Lakers get scraped.
I was watching. I was watching this. I just said I was watching because this took place during halftime. So I saw the whole thing take place.
But you didn't see the you didn't see the fourth quarter, did you? You saw the fourth quarter?
I just said I watched it take place.
Oh well, shit.
I'm giving you play-by-play. You know what I'm saying? You have to
give the people play-by-play. Everyone watch play-by-play. Everyone saw it.
Well, I'm giving you up to notice, and you keep interrupting.
Okay.
Because you don't want to talk football. But, we get down to the goal line. Ball goes into Crabtree. I'm thinking it's game over. Touchdown.
Nope.
Refs got to be some hoes. They gonna call offensive pass interference.
Was that the one when he pushed off? Or it was like
the second time? It wasn't.
Was it the second time or the first time?
It was the first, but it wasn't.
The first one, no. I agree with that one. The second time, he literally pushed off. I yelled straight up, that's interference.
The first time, the second time, the previous
biased,
time,
man.
the last time, that wasn't enough to call that on that play.
He pushed him.
It was arms were not extended. Okay.
Nigga went.
No, it was not. It was. It was not. It was. That's exactly what it was.
He just pushed him like.
So they call penalty, so it puts us back. One play left. Mm-hmm. So Derek throws to the end zone. Cook doesn't get it. Flag. Boom. Saved.
Pretty much the defense cost. Pretty much the Chiefs won the job.
So of course there's 0 on the clock.
0.
So we're down to one play. Derek throws it again to Patterson.
Flag.
Another one. They did it again. So we got to do it one more time. And finally
Derek went to the left.
Curves out to the left.
Threw it to Crabtree.
Knees down in the end zone. Touchdown. Game over.
And what was it? What was the text I sent you? Just say it.
FJY.
No, just fully say it.
FJY.
Fully say it.
FJY.
Fully say it.
That's all you, player. That's all you.
I ain't gonna say it.
I want you to think about your Niners. That way you can say it right now. Just think about
Let's talk about the Niners now.
Yeah.
We lost.
Well, before we get there, because there was more with Marshawn. So much more. I'm so glad he's in town again. Because he went back to the locker room, congratulated his teammates, and then him and Marcus Peters then took Bart.
Yeah.
See, they men of the people. They for this culture. Like, I love it, man. Like, it's rare to find cats in these positions where they use their platforms to just show everybody who they really are. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really down to earth. And they was out on Bart, he leading chants, F the Chiefs, doing all that. He taught this, what was it, the Russian cat, or wherever he was from. He's teaching him how to pop his collar. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was loving it. But what happened was he got suspended.
For one game.
Yeah, they suspended for one game. He went and they were appealing it. Marcus Peters even went to the appeal to plead his case. Cat's going to say Marshawn out here snitching, but I'm just saying he pleading the case. He named 9 players that made contact with the refs and ain't nothing happened to them.
Yeah, well, they don't like Marshawn for a minute for a reason. So,
but I mean that was that. We'll get back to Marshawn later. But that game was amazing.
Yes, it was. I bet it was. I really bet it was. So let's talk about these whole.
There was another amazing game here in the Bay Area yesterday. Well, we should say week 7. It took place yesterday.
What happened?
It was Niners and Cowboys.
Yeah, it was.
It was an amazing game for one side. I'm not gonna say it was an amazing game altogether, but one side it was clearly amazing. You could tell by that because in the pool of red seats,
there's a whole bunch of white and blue.
A
whole bunch of Trump supporters in that bitch.
Well, leading up to the game, Ezekiel Elliott had gotten suspended. Like they brought the suspension back. He appealed it last minute. They lifted it, so he was at least cleared for this game.
Good to have that Jerry Jones money. Shit,
gotta be.
Yeah,
because that boy ate.
Oh, yeah,
he ate all day.
He sure did.
200 plus yards.
He ate the Niners
and 3 touchdowns.
He ate the Niners booty hole.
I don't think you.
No, we didn't like it either. It's like it was nigga ate all over us.
Well, what's your take on it?
We got whooped by 30.
It was a lot worse than that. Like the 30 was like a.
It could have been by like 35, but
Right.
you know.
I mean, it was 37. Like the 30 was kind of like a consolation.
Pretty much. We got our asses handed. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I mean.
You still blaming Jay York at this point?
You hear the silence in my voice. It's kind of just like, nigga, I don't know. Who we got next week? We're watching the fucking Washington and Philadelphia. We got Philadelphia next week. Philadelphia is one of the best, they're like 6-1 right now as we're talking. They might be 6-2. They might be 7-1. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. My Niners are trash. And I watched Supergirl.
That's how you spent your Sunday? I'm
Yeah.
not mad at that. I'm definitely not mad at that.
I watched Supergirl, and it pissed me off because I'm watching the second season of Supergirl, and they did my nigga James Olsen hella dirty. Because in the first season, he was like the main love interest, and in the second season, they put him to the side, and then Superboy showed up, and now Supergirl and Superboy are together, while James Olsen is the guardian, and he's getting thrown in the bushes all the damn time. Ooh, someone got fucking blocked. But yeah, that has nothing to do with sports. But I'm just gonna tell y'all how I treated my fucking Sunday.
There you go.
I didn't even barely watch any football because it was boring. Because the real game was on Thursday. It was one of the best games I watched, and it pissed me off. Well, it didn't piss me off. I'm beyond being pissed off. I'm just irritated.
It irritated and pissed you off. I'm gonna tell you why. It had nothing to do with the actual game. It was the fact that there's two staples from the Harbaugh days that are now with the Raiders that made impact plays. Like they're impact players for them. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, it's Crabtree and it's Bowman. It's all right, man. I got black and silver when you're ready to come over.
I'm not gonna switch sides, my nigga. There's no.
I got you.
I'm not gonna switch sides. There's no reason to switch sides. So
I mean, there's plenty of reasons, but
no, that's called no. You switch sides because they gave you a check.
no opportunity.
No, you sold your soul to the black and silver.
I mean, there's opportunity.
Fuck out of here. Man, let's go to the NBA, bro.
Well, I mean, there's more.
What else?
There's still more. So you got Martavius Bryant, wide receiver out of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He's not happy. The Steelers, they drafted Juju Smith-Schuster.
What? How do you say that name?
Juju Smith-Schuster. He's a bad boy. That boy.
No,
can,
I'm just saying about
catch.
the name.
That boy can catch.
Juju.
He's taking over as the clear-cut number
Try
2.
saying that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
Shit.
And Martavius Bryant ain't happy about it. Not that he's hating on Juju, but he's at such a point where he's like, "Hey, I've worked myself to get back. I'm ready to ball. At this point, just send me away, trade me." Problem was he took it to social media.
That's how they always do it, man.
Left it on Instagram.
These players always be thinking about themselves, man.
Yeah, so that's where they're at with that. Steelers also had another great touchdown celebration. They played hide and seek.
Yeah, that was pretty smart. That was pretty cute.
Yeah. It's still not going to top their best one when they was out shooting dice.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, the Vikings kind of had one funny one. The whole
that's number 2.
Yeah,
that's definitely number 2.
That was so random. That was so random. It had nothing to do with nothing. But it's like, all right.
I was trying to tell you about it when we did the show a few weeks ago.
I know. I just didn't watch it.
You was preoccupied.
Yeah, I sure was.
So they was doing that. Steelers won, by the way. And to stay on that game specifically, Vontaze Burfict. The Bengals linebacker, the one that's always in some shit. Yeah, well, he made another dirty play.
What kind of dirty play?
He kicked the fullback, Roosevelt Nix, in the face mask.
Why did he kick him for?
So he's laid all on the ground, and the play's over. Next thing you know, his foot's smashing into his face mask.
He did that intentionally?
Just for the hell of it. Like, why not?
What's up? And he got fined, right?
Word still is going to be put out. We'll probably find out tomorrow.
He didn't get ejected or nothing?
Nah.
Why do niggas do that shit, man?
I mean, the thing of it is, if you know about the Bengals this year, I think staying in the game was actually a worse punishment because they ain't been doing much.
To this day, I don't know how Marvin Lewis still got a job.
Yeah,
for the last how many years has he been?
11 years.
He's been the coach since I've been in high school,
right.
and he's only taken them to the playoffs.
Yeah, only the playoffs.
Only the playoffs, not the AFC Championship. Not even Like I just don't get it. Division championship means shit. Like,
I mean, usually I'm all for a black man staying in position of power
here, but when you don't produce,
but when you
for 11 years,
you ain't got nothing to show for it. Like
you had Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson, you had T.O. and Chad Johnson at one point, and you still couldn't do shit.
Speaking of Carson Palmer, he might have played his final game of his career.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, fucked his arm
out
up
in London. And then, Bills fans going to be Bills fans. For those who don't know anything about Bills Mafia, they some of the weirdest fans out there. Like, they're a special breed.
Yeah.
And yesterday, one particular special fan, he decided it would be funny and cool to jump on a table that was inflamed with fire.
Do you think he's Mick Foley or something?
I don't know, but he jumped on and he fell off, not realizing that he could take the fire with him, and the fire traveled with him.
Yeah, he dropped. He rolled. He dropped.
Yeah,
dropped and rolled.
It
went out quick. While they were pouring beer on him and shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was a legit Stone Cold. Like, I could see that in the WWE.
No, Austin ain't that stupid.
No, not him doing it. I mean, him doing it to somebody else. Yeah.
Beer. Yeah. Okay.
Easily.
You on fire, son, you jackass.
Basically. So that was a week in football. The NCAA, there's some quick highlights. The U was back. U out here whooping ass, man.
Really?
Yeah, they were number 8 going into the game against Syracuse.
And they whooped their ass?
Whooped their ass. What I like about them is that the defense has this big-ass, blinging-ass U chain. And it's this pendant. And what they do is, if you get the turnover, when you come off the field, you're the one that dons that chain on the sideline. So what does that do? It gives everybody incentive to want to make a play. They was making plays on
fumble
on Saturday.
Fumble in this rig fillet. Hezzy. Twink.
So shout out to the U. Notre Dame smacked the college football playoff taste out of USC's mouth.
They gave him that reality check.
49-14.
Damn.
It was 28-0 before I was driving. 28-0. I changed the damn channel. I was like, I'm not listening to this. Like, give me something else. So USC is no longer contending for the playoffs. Harbaugh's Wolverines, man. When it comes to these big games, Michigan, they just
see. That's what Lamar always says, that Harbaugh is a mediocre coach at the end of the day. You do great in the season, but then when you lose, he loses in spectacular fashion.
He does, and this one was another ass whooping. Penn State, who was number 2, it's 42-13.
It's one of them rare Harbaugh ass whoopings.
Yeah, it wasn't even close from the jump. Like, honestly, my brother, we were talking. He goes, "Hey man, you might as well just we watch football or whatever. You can go drive tomorrow." And I was like, "Nah, I'd rather watch NFL." On Red Zone, just so as I could catch bits and pieces while I'm doing my homework.
That's the best way to do it.
And I texted him probably about 10 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I started driving. He goes, yeah, me too. You would have been mad at me.
Your brother does Uber too?
No, I mean, like, he was like, yeah, I'm glad you drove too. You would have been mad at me.
Man, he missed my money to watch some nigga get their ass whoop.
But it's getting close to that time where the playoffs for college is starting to shape up. You got Alabama, Penn State, TCU's in the mix. I think University of Georgia is number 3 right now. So it's shaping up. Like I said, the U's back. They got a chance to get into that top 4. We're going to see how these next few weeks play out. But what we do know is who's going to be in this World Series starting tomorrow. Like I mentioned earlier, that Grand Slam sealed the fate and got the Dodgers in for the first time since 1988.
Got the Astros in there now.
Yeah.
I don't really care about them. It's like Yankees, everybody wanted the Yankees. For the culture, it should have been the Yankees and Dodgers.
Yankees pulled a 2009 Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Like the culture wanted it so bad that it just went up to the point where Nike did everything it could except get a puppet New York Yankees player and a puppet Dodgers player to make it happen.
Man, you know how much ratings would have been, and the culture needed to see that. Culture needed to see that. Seeing Kendrick at the Dodger games that they had, and then when they go to New York, you see Hov with his
Jay-Z.
fucking shit. Well, Hov lives in L.A., but still,
he would have made that trip.
Hell, of course he would.
He would have made that trip.
He would have, man. But Yankees had to fuck it up. So
I mean, they fucked it up. But at the end of the day, they weren't supposed to be there to begin with. So it's one of them things where it's like,
Still,
right.
But Giant fans are really just irritated.
They salty.
They hella salty. But like I said, like I tell them all the damn time, you guys have 3 championship rings. You guys been there. You think Dodger fans love seeing you guys in the World Series every other fucking year? Just let them cook. Let them cook for once. Shit.
Like I said, I'm not big on baseball, but I've always been one where I'm saying hometown. If they doing good, at least give them a salute. From afar, let it be known.
And the Giant fans say, "Fuck that, fuck them niggas."
Right,
That's what they're thinking. Like, fuck you, and fuck you for saluting them. That's exactly what they're thinking
exactly.
right now. If y'all listen to this, that's exactly what y'all thinking. Fuck that, nigga. They're buying your soul too.
I mean, you can't buy a soul when it don't pay attention to begin with. Like, I'm not a baseball guy.
Yeah, me neither.
Like I said, I saluted the Giants when they won.
You. I'm just saying, same here.
I don't give a damn what how they feel.
For real, me neither. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, so you got the Houston Astros. I gotta say, this cat, Jose Altuve. This cat 5'6" with like the lower body strength of Andre the Giant.
Really?
Like he just smacking balls across the walls like it's nothing. Like literally, dude just steps up like, oh man, what's he doing in the diamond? Smack. Like wait, what the hell did that come from?
What the hell?
Right. And then you got Jason Verlander going Jason Verlander. You know what I'm saying? He's
I thought you said you don't watch baseball like that.
I don't, but when I pay attention to the playoffs.
Okay.
And that's how I learn everything or what took place over the 162 games, which is the reason why I don't pay attention. That's pretty much the
same as when I see the Giants win the World Series and shit. I'll be like,
right.
Oh, that's that nigga.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I learn everything in October. That's
pretty much. I think that's like every casual baseball fan.
So everybody listening, no, you're right, because everybody listening like, how this motherfucker don't be watching baseball, but he know every damn thing about everybody. No, I just listen to and repeat what's been told to me.
We're just informed. We get our facts,
right?
Kind of.
Verlander, that's cold dude. I have never really watched him play or pitch. That guy got all 4 pitches, and he does what he wants when he's on that mound. Like it's incredible.
Good for him.
So World Series starts tomorrow. Games 1 and 2 will be in LA. At least 3 and 4 will be in Houston. We'll see where it goes from there.
I think it might go all 7 games. Who knows?
They're both good enough to do it. We'll see how it plays out.
It's gonna end in LA, and you'll be back in LA by then. It's gonna be probably a big ass party.
If Dodgers win, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's a party.
Giant fans will be sad.
It's a party. If the Dodgers pull this out. But so that takes care of baseball, and of course,
NBA.
My favorite sport across the globe and across the board. National Basketball Association is back, man. And what have I told you? I have told you one of the reasons why I love the NBA so much is because the NBA is like dope. You ain't gotta sell the NBA. It sells itself.
Yeah, it's like wrestling.
And before the season even started, we had breaking news from Chicago. Because you had Bobby Portis breaking teammate Nikola Mirotic's face. Literally broke his face.
What's up with all these random ass names?
Well,
Shit.
He's foreign. You gotta understand, NBA is it's more international.
Hey, that's the same with basketball.
Baseball.
Not baseball and football. Sometimes.
Nah, football's not as international. Yeah, they got into it with practice, and pretty much what ended up happening was Mirotic, he pretty much was trying to square up with Portis the whole practice, and Portis just had enough. And my thought was he was listening to patiently waiting. You know what I'm saying?
He got to Eminem's part.
He got to 50-second verse. Say, if you got a glass jaw, you should watch your mouth because I'll break your face.
I'll break your face.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did, bro. He literally shattered his jaw. Like he's
one hit a quitter.
He's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
And what happened to old boy?
They suspended him for 8 games for no reason. It was because
I mean no reason.
Because no. Because the way they made it sound like was he just walked up on him and swung. Mirotic was stepping to him the whole practice. When I say it's not stepping to him like,
did they show it?
Shove it. The reports came out.
Okay.
The reports came out saying, he was in his face, daring him, up in his jaw, and
he had to be like, man, smack the shit out of him.
He squared up, but when he squared up, he wasn't prepared for the exact fade. And if you see Bobby Portis, if you've seen the way, he a nigga.
No, but I'm talking about the other nigga that got smacked.
Mirotic, he's Turkish, I think.
So he's white.
If you want to call, I say he's like,
so
he's whitish, brownish.
So he felt that black excellence on his fucking jaw.
On his Turkish jaw, yeah. Definitely.
America, nigga.
But like I said, the games hadn't even started. Like this was Tuesday morning. The games hadn't even started yet, and already
they just started fighting before.
Already, like it was just a reminder, just how far advanced
they can't even do that in football, man.
Exactly, it's just how far advanced the NBA is when it comes to their product.
They take out all their aggression in practice and shit anyway, and on the field.
Right, no. But it's just what I'm saying is the storylines.
Like
it just shows how far advanced they are. Then we get to the actual game. First game took place. It was Kyrie's return to Cleveland. First 5 minutes were amazing. They was going back and forth.
And then
ballerific, and then all of a sudden horror took place. Gordon Hayward. You are horrible with names.
Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Shit. You text me that shit, and I was just like, "Well, what happened?" Because I was busy doing shit, and I went on Twitter. Everyone's all in mourning and shit. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I saw that. Ugh.
What took place was Kyrie threw up an alley-oop to Hayward. He jumped up. It got batted by LeBron, who made a little bit of contact, but really it was the contact from Crowder. And all this was non-intentional contact. It was just they're going for the ball. Well, what happened was he's in the air, caught the bat in the stick, and he fell. When he fell, everybody thought he landed on his back. Because he was rolling around his back. Then he shuffled up. And when he shuffled up, he put his leg out and he's screaming. Once he's screaming, all of a sudden you see all the players.
I don't think he was screaming.
No, he screamed. I was watching this live. He screamed.
I saw the clip. I got you.
When he did that, all of a sudden you see the Cavs bench just disperse, like just go, like, and so you're looking at it, and then all of a sudden you hear, I think it was Craig Harlan who was on the call with Reggie. You hear Craig say, "Oh my God, I think he broke it." As soon as he said that, the camera zooms in. And you see his leg was facing the Cavs bench, and his ankle was facing the baseline.
Yeah, that shit was nasty.
Why? His ankle, everything underneath was just
that shit was nasty.
It was an L. Wade immediately dropped to a knee in prayer. Players immediately went in their huddles praying. It was bad.
It was bad. LeBron gave him encouragement and shit. It was a whole outpouring of support though for him.
It was honestly so seeing live. It was easily a top 3 one of those gruesome things I've seen. You had the Paul George injury for Team USA.
Ugh, that was bad.
Then you had the Kevin Ware injury, if you remember Louisville. And then a lot of people, they also brought up Willis McGay's injury against Ohio State, but it was one of the bad ones.
Bowman's.
I haven't seen that. Bowman's was bad, but really the number one to this day is Sean Livingston with the Clippers, when he was with the Clippers and he blew his entire knee out. It's just there
was also, if you go to wrestling, there was Sid Vicious. You don't remember that, huh?
I remember hearing about it. I don't remember.
Nigga, he a big ass 7 foot nigga. He's trying to do some fucking drop rope move, like a big ass kick move from the turnbuckle to Scott Steiner, and he missed it. And then he just literally landed on his shit, and his shit was all the way fucked up in the ring. He was screaming. It was on. I remember that in WCW. I said it on Twitter. You think that was bad? That's Sid Vicious. It was just kind of it was fucked up. I'm seeing everyone on Twitter being all mourning about it. I don't know. It was just like. In my mind, it was like, I've seen worse. I don't know how fucked up that is in my mind, but I've seen worse. But, you know.
I mean, you've seen worse, but you're also talking about a situation that deals with contact like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not seeing that in basketball.
As much, yeah.
Right, like, you're not.
You can expect
I can see it in football,
wrestling, hockey, even.
Right. But basketball, that's one of those rare things where it's just.
Yeah, especially when they're up in the air and they land. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what makes it one of the top ones is that he was helpless because he was in the air.
Yeah.
Like, there was no way for him.
You can't fight gravity.
You were not avoiding it. But like you said, all the players, they reached out to him. I commend both sides because they went out and they still put on a great.
Yeah.
A great.
And I heard that fucking, what's his name? Kyrie. I didn't watch the game, but I heard Kyrie try to take the last shot and missed it.
It's Kyrie. Kyrie was balling. It went down to the wire. He helped put them in a position to take the game. LeBron played his heroics and came through in the fourth quarter. Came down the last shot. Kyrie was like, "This is why I'm here." And of course, LeBron answered the call and
you know who the fuck I am.
Was defending him. Put the ball up, didn't go in. What broke everybody's heart was after he missed it, LeBron turned to him and just grabbed him. Or before he grabbed him, they did their dap handshake, and he just reached in and he just grabbed him like
whispered in his ear, "You know you ain't shit without me, little nigga."
Well, you can say that, but I think it was more so kind of you did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is your life, it's your destiny, it's your road, your career. You did what was best for you. It's cool.
But Daddy had to spank you.
I guess. That was the first of the doubleheader. The next one was Golden State Warriors against the Houston Rockets, and they unveiled their recent banner and they got their rings. But there wasn't too much to celebrate afterwards. They thought they had it in the bag.
They sure did.
And then Chris Paul sat down from a knee injury. He ain't came back. Next thing you know, Rockets is putting buckets in, bucket after bucket after bucket. To the point where they take the lead. 122, 121. And then Kevin Durant comes down. Canada Dry. That OVO shit. Kevin Durant goes down, puts that ball up, and I'm thinking, shit.
Yeah.
Now my phone's gonna blow up from these Warrior fans.
Yeah, that's what you get because you're the instigator.
Right.
You're the hater.
I'm not an instigator. I respond. That's all I do.
But they know.
They just know that not to test me because my response is on petty levels.
But then you send it to me because you act like I'm the enemy.
Because you don't take a stance and you don't stand up. So if you ain't with me, you against me. That's what it boils down to.
I took a stand with this game.
No, I wonder why. I wonder why it took you so long.
Well,
that's another day, another topic. So he put the shot in my. I'm thinking, oh man, this is how I got to start the year off. The ref's coming back and was like, hold up, Skippy. Hold on.
Hold up. Wait a
Hold
minute.
on.
That buck didn't count for a minute.
Exactly. Give that win to the Rockets. And I saw it, and immediately I went into,
beautiful morning.
I went into Duncan Pettyhughes.
You gotta do the Agent Smith laugh. You gotta do that. You gotta do the Agent Smith laugh. Wow.
Yeah. So everybody else caught that wrath. A few nights later, Lakers opened up. Like I mentioned earlier, went to the game. It's my first time going to a Lakers season opener.
And Lonzo only made 3 points that game?
3 points, went 1 for 6. Everybody's, rumbling around. Patrick Beverly out here talking. I'm going to whoop his ass and, show him what it's like to be in the NBA. It's like, of course you are. You're
a veteran.
Yeah, you got 8 years in this damn league.
Lonzo came in this. His dad helped him get into. Not he helped him, but his dad is his spokesperson. He didn't come in here like LeBron. Imagine if LeBron had a dad like LeVar Bell. Oh my God,
ball. That
would have been some ball. Imagine if LeBron had a dad like Lonzo, like Lonzo's dad, bruh.
It'd be amazing.
It would have been Paul. It would have been Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar shit.
Easy.
Shit.
He did some things that were good highlights throughout, but I mean, it was just a bad game overall. Guys weren't making shots. He really should have had damn near 15 assists. Guys just weren't making them. He wasn't making them.
It was just a bad day.
Right. Beverly was trying to punk him, and it's like, all right, man, I guess you're trying to prove whatever you're trying to prove.
Yeah, it's almost you want to take your aggression out on his dad. So
right.
That's trash.
What I loved about
Not
LeVar,
him,
I loved about LeVar though was Stephen A. and Neil Everett were on ESPN afterwards. They called him over, and Stephen A. What? Can you explain what happened with your boy putting this embarrassing display on? And LeVar's like, hey, what you want me to say? Even when we lose, we win. Triple B brand up 12%.
God.
And I was happy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly.
I know you're happy. I can't say nothing.
Can't argue that.
You can't battle a troll. You can't troll a troll, and that's what.
Well, he's not a troll.
No. But it's not troll. Stephen, but LeVar knows what he's doing
exactly.
And Stephen A. always tried to stomp him, and then you can't.
He's always
because he's like, why? He's like, why are you so?
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of those like, man, shut up, man. Just walk away. There's nothing you say like
that was his exact response because he said it and he just said, "Oh my lord." Like it's just he couldn't say anything after that.
Of course, you can't say nothing to nigga that's confident in himself.
Right, but
I like LeVar Bell now. Ball.
But Friday night was a bounce back. It was a great bounce back. Played the Phoenix Suns. Him and Brandon Ingram, they came out and reversed that. Lonzo came out and had 29, 11 rebounds and 9 assists. Still a little salty at Ingram because he didn't make the shot that would have gave him his 10th assist, making him the youngest player to get a triple-double.
He's going to get it.
But he eventually going to get it. Ingram came out and showed aggression. He dropped 25. I don't care. Look, I don't give a damn if it's the Phoenix Suns. Who else is bottom here? The Sacramento Queens. I don't give a damn if it's the Chuck E. Cheese All-Stars. You put us against the squad and we win, I'm celebrating. That's just how it goes. You talk all your shit, you do what you want. Those who say that, they just ain't used to winning. Like, they just used to paying tickets just to watch their teams just be there. Okay? Coming from watching this franchise win 5 times in my lifetime.
5 times.
You know what I'm saying?
5 times.
Like, that's just how it goes. Warriors fans was ready to laugh and they was chumming it up, but they weren't found on Saturday night. They ended up losing again to the Grizzlies.
And then fucking in legendary fashion, fucking Steph Curry and Kevin Durant got kicked out the game because he got fouled, and I guess he was doing a layup. He thought he got touched, and Steph said, "What?" took out his mouthpiece and threw it in the
Chucked it
direction at the ref, and then he got ejected. And during and then I guess Kevin Durant got ejected because he flipped some fans off, but he was just showing the ring and the middle finger. You know how passive aggressive he is.
Yeah.
So then they were talking to Steph Curry, and they asked him like, "Oh, why'd you throw it at the ref?" He's like, "Man, I was throwing it at the ref. I have better direction than that." I had to admit that shit was funny. And Warriors are 1-3, but it's still early.
But they 1-2.
I thought they were 1-3.
Nah,
1-2.
They won the game against the Pelicans.
Oh yeah, they did win.
Yeah.
So
we lost last night against the Pelicans, but I'm proud of the guys. We got a young squad. It's they're like the third youngest team in the NBA. The average age is 24. So I ain't tripping off
that's
that.
why that's the Warriors are playing right now.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to talk to me. Well, what are the Lakers going to do? I'm like, we young. I don't have expectations.
This is why I do like October, because everybody's playing now.
Right.
Every sports you can think of is playing at this very moment. Because after October, then that's when everything kind of gradually goes away.
Right.
So
you got that going on.
So
shout out to Lonzo, for holding it down and coming
Eric
back.
Bledsoe wants out.
Eric Bledsoe, man, point guard for the Phoenix Suns. He went to Twitter and said, "I don't want to be here." That's it. Just I don't want to be here.
And then the coach got fired.
An hour later, Earl Watson was fired. Then they called Bledsoe in this morning, had a team meeting with him, and told him, "All right, you can go home. You don't even got to show up."
For sure.
So as far as the way it is sounding, he's gonna be moved by the end of next week.
They were saying he might go to the Heat or maybe Chicago. No, he might go to the Knicks, supposedly.
There's a few places that would love to.
Probably
to
by
get
the time
his
we're done
services.
with this, there's going to be a report saying he's going to be at the Knicks.
Yeah.
Or shit, that's a nice highlight. But that's
man.
So
Minister of Defense Reggie White.
Man, rest in peace.
And then to end that out, so of course Dwayne Wade's now in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately got put into the starting lineup, which H.E.R. then gets pushed to the bench. Which he's saying the right things. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the team, but clearly he's not happy.
LeBron had to make that talk and say, "Hey, bro, you took a seat."
No, he didn't make the talk.
Oh,
no. What happened was they struggled in their most recent game. He was to Tyronn Lue, and he's like, "Look, this is gonna be a burden for the team. I ain't coming for that. I came to win a ring. So if it makes it easier, stick me on the bench and give H.E.R. his job back. I ain't tripping."
That's a real nigga.
I mean, what more is there from like he really is like the professional personified. He's a 3-time champion.
Yeah, I think he just wants to win this just to make his career better.
Right. I mean, it's basically there's no ego when it comes to this.
I think this is like he only has like a 1-year deal with the Cavs, right?
Yeah, because at this point it's all expected. He's going to finish out this year doing with the Cavs. And assuming he has one more year, he's going to go back to Miami next year. He's going to end it out.
I think he's going to retire. I think he's just going to retire with Cavs and then retire his jersey with the fucking Miami.
From the looks of it, he's still got one more year left in him. Like, we'll see how the season plays out.
See how this plays out. But that's your sports, but let's go to my shit.
Yeah.
It was a random, crazy day in the wrestling world. This past Sunday was WWE's TLC. And the original card was going to be the reunion of the Shield with the trio of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose. And
hell
shit,
yeah!
Right? And there was going to be a match with Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Well, Mother Nature called, and
they got Ebola.
No, they had bronchitis. There was a viral bronchitis that went around the locker room allegedly, and pretty much. It happened, and Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns caught it. And it caught it at the same time, and they were legit sick. So that meant Roman Reigns couldn't wrestle. He could, and it was a Shield versus who was it? It was Braun Strowman, Miz, Cesaro, and Braun Strowman, Kane, Cesaro, and Sheamus, and Miz. It was like a 5-on-3 shit, right? And it was going to be some big-ass match to put Roman over and be hella strong. You know that shit, right?
Right.
So, yeah, that was the deal, but Roman was sick. They needed a replacement. And there was rumors going around that something was going to go down. So then all of a sudden, WWE announced, breaking news, Kurt Angle to join Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And AJ Styles is going to go against Finn Balor. It was like, hold up, what? Wrestling fans were confused, excited, mad. It was like, what the fuck? It was going to be Kurt Angle's first match back in the WWE in 11 years, my nigga.
That's crazy.
It was random because it wasn't WrestleMania or something. This was like, it was random. No storyline, no nothing. They just put him in there. And it got so bad they had to get AJ Styles, because this is so big for wrestling fans, because AJ Styles and Finn Balor, they were known for the Bullet Club in New Japan and shit. And this was like their first ever encounter in the ring. Right. Ever. No storyline, no nothing. They just put them in there together. So last night, everyone just lost their motherfucking mind. And the pay-per-view itself was alright for what it was. But the two main events with AJ and Finn, that shit was amazing. The main match itself... It was such a clusterfuck. It didn't make no sense, but it was entertaining. Kurt Angle came out in the Shield attire, because I told everyone straight up, like, he shouldn't come out to his entrance or anything like that. They should save all the fireworks and everything for WrestleMania, because that's what's going to happen. But He came out in his attire and shit. It was crazy. This shit literally made news when he came back. It was on USA Today, Sports Illustrated, ESPN. It made headline news, Kurt Angle come back, because it was so fucking random.
Wow.
Like,
I'd imagine.
It was just, yeah, it was pretty dope, though. It was pretty dope to see Kurt Angle do his shit. He's still slow as fuck. All he's doing is hitting niggas with chairs and tables and shit. He got thrown through a table, too. So it was nice to see he's still doing that. But it was dope. Made no sense, but it was entertaining as fuck.
How was Gangsta Usos and New Day?
No, that's SmackDown. This was a Raw.
Oh, this was Raw, man.
AJ Styles. No, this is what AJ Styles was in North America, Chile. And they made that call, and they flew him from South America to Minneapolis to do this shit overnight. He came up with a match with him and Finn Balor and put on a pretty dope ass, not a classic, but it was a real good match. And they put up the 2 Sweet in the end too. So.
Gotcha. Nice. Good.
Yeah, like the Usos and all them. You need to start watching SmackDown, man. The Usos are funny as hell. And yeah, but that's wrestling. I don't really like talking wrestling on here because I probably scare y'all motherfuckers away. Ooh, boogie boogie. But yeah, that was pretty monumental in the world of wrestling.
Nice. And then to close out on sports, I want to give a nice good shout out to my boy Jason Maples. That's my homeboy. I told you coaches at Contra Costa basketball. Him and his boy they starting their own podcast, Temple of Hoop.
Temple of Hoop.
Yeah, they're gonna be talking ball. His boy Sheed runs the Warriors World account on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they gonna be starting that off. I think they're gonna drop the first episode this week.
Okay.
But big shouts out to him. That's my road dog. It's my ace. He's got some knowledge on some hoop. So for all you hoop fans that want a real good podcast on that's heavily induced in the sports realm, especially on ball. Check that out.
Shout out to Jordan, too. Jordan Ramirez, who lives out here in the Bay, works at the Report, and Warrior fan. So, gotta get him on the show eventually.
Oh, we gonna have a nice heated debate.
Yeah. They'll take up the whole fucking show.
Shout out to J-Ram, though. J-Ram hilarious, man.
He funny cool. As hell. He funny as hell. But,
we had some reviews.
Yeah.
We had 3 albums to check out and 1 brand new TV show. So, which one would you like to start out with?
Let's start with the TV shit, because I was watching a lot of TV.
Oh, well, the TV show, we actually missed talking about this last week.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's perfect timing considering what took place on Thursday.
Yeah.
We got Marshawn Lynch and his show through
Facebook and Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report. No script.
Yeah.
Dropped. And when we say no script,
it's no script. This nigga Marshawn Lynch is just going around doing random. They're making him go places, and he's just acting like himself.
Oh, it's the realest show on anywhere right now.
God,
it's the realest show anywhere right now.
When we saw when he was at the Lucasfilm Studios doing voiceovers for Darth Vader. Oh my God, I want to know how you feel me though.
I don't think you really feeling me like that, fam. You don't feel it where I'm coming from, fam.
Vader, release him. For show, family.
For show, family.
Turned around. For show, family. He's like, oh, the walk away. It was just Marshawn just being hella just kicked back and shit like that. Just talking hella shit.
From the time the intro takes place, it's just a big ass sign of the welcome to the Oakland sign, the population. Yep. And the theme song is everything about Oakland. You know, ain't no city like Oakland.
Yep.
The first episode, he went to the drag race track.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness,
that shit was really.
I counted. There was at least 8 motherfuckers before the first scene even ended,
and it was just blurred. It was funny. They blurred out all the cuss words, but they didn't blur out nigga, which is kind of funny to me. And it's on Facebook, So it's okay to say face. You can say nigga, but you can't say fuck, shit, ass, bitch, cunt, all that other shit.
Right.
Whatever. But it was funny as hell, man. Shout out to Kaz, of course. Shout out to Kaz.
Shout out to Kaz.
Shout out to Kaz. I can't even pronounce his full African name, but just shout out to Kaz.
Yeah, they and then episode 2
they took him. First, they had all those people show up.
They were giving him training.
Yeah.
And the first one, dude was trying to work his core out, and he was trying to do like these difficult ass exercises on the footballs where you lifting yourself up with the core strength, and you like doing push-ups and everything, leg splits and everything. And Marshawn just looked at him and was like, "Nah, we ain't doing that.
No, we ain't doing that, fam." It's funny. It's not like we can't really present. It's like some shit y'all really just need to watch. It's really hilarious.
It's awesome.
It's fucking.
And then
awesome.
like Busby was saying, he goes to the Lucas farm,
Lucasfilm and shit like that.
Yeah, and he does the voiceover for a few Darth Vader scenes.
Yep.
First one was from.
It didn't really matter what.
It was from the Rogue. The Rogue.
New Hope. It was New Hope. It was the old one. The first one.
Okay, so he did that. And then the second one was from Empire Strikes Back, where the infamous scene where we find out Darth and Luke are related. Father and son.
Oh my god!
And he voiced over.
Oh shit!
He voiced over Darth in that scene. I don't want to spoil it. Just make sure to go watch it.
Shit, man.
You will die laughing. That shit was hilarious. Busby lost breath for 15 seconds
because he kept going the way he said it. I don't want to say. Y'all just gotta watch.
Yeah, we usually ain't got a problem doing the spoiler alerts, but for this one,
y'all gotta watch that shit.
Y'all gotta go see it, family. Like, y'all really gotta go see.
And what else? Well, I already told y'all earlier I was watching Supergirl. Yeah, the second season I'm on there. It got too fucking girly. Like they focusing more on the girl part of it instead of the super. But it's still a good watch for what it is, and it's funny. CW, they treat their little DC universe a lot better than DC does their cinematic universe, because they got Arrow, Flash. Who was it? Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. And nice. Yeah, and they did this one mashup episode. It was like a big ass 3-parter and shit like that. And they all just did there was this one. They had to take out aliens and shit like that. It was pretty dope. And then they had another episode, like a musical episode, which was hella fucking random with Flash and Supergirl, but low key kind of worked.
Interesting.
It's really interesting. They treat that shit better than than DC does their cinematic universe, because Justice League's about to come out in what? November, around my birthday.
They dropped the most recent trailer too. I think the final trailer.
Yeah. I'm still very amped about it. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see when I go out there. When I go out to LA,
definitely for sure. We definitely gonna find out.
I'm still very on it, and they're gonna drop. And Marvel's dropping Punisher that same day.
Yeah.
So shit, man. These
competition, man.
Comic book wars ain't no joke, man.
Nah, man.
They say whose dick is bigger. And it was all it's hella sexist. Because I was at the movies earlier this week, and how they have the Justice League posters, little standalone posters. I walk by and I see Batman, I see Cyborg, I see Aquaman and Flash. You know who's missing?
Wonder Woman.
And it was like, well, that's sexist. I just keep walking. I was like, I saw Wonder Woman there, and all of a sudden Wonder Woman just went away, and I was like,
I mean, if anything, if y'all ran in a room, you could have just went to the back and got the actual poster from Wonder Woman, and just, no,
but I think because originally Wonder Woman was right there, and I guess someone ripped it off, some fuck women shit. I don't know. Yeah. Where's Superman? Because it's I would have thought this is what's kind of turning me off about the whole Justice League shit.
They're not showing Supes.
It's like, well, yeah, but it's like, who would have thought they would have showed a Justice League trailer or like a Justice League film where Superman's not the leader, he's not the main focus. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's Batman's the leader because Batman's that nigga. But still, speaking of Batman,
Batman that nigga with a checkbook.
Huh?
Batman that nigga with a checkbook.
He even said, "Oh, what's your power? I'm rich."
Well, fair enough, nigga. Fair enough.
And also when it comes to those CW shows, I've noticed when I'm watching Supergirl, they have a lot of Batman references. They mention Batman a lot. And I'm going like, huh. Because they already brought in Superman in the second season. Right. And Arrow made a Batman reference. So I'm like, oh, so y'all making a lot of Batman references. Y'all really want that nigga, huh? So we're going to see how that goes.
Yeah.
And no.
Nope. Nothing for you.
We're watching football. Every time the ball goes up, we go like, and nope. Oh, yeah. Don't see that movie Geostorm, people. That shit was trash.
I heard it was garbage.
Fucking trash. If y'all saw Day was what's it called? Day After Tomorrow. That's all. That's pretty much what it is. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to music reviews.
All right, well,
Keyshia Cole's shit was trash.
Okay. We had 3 albums that we had to go through. I guess that's where we'll start off with Keyshia Cole's latest album, 1111 Reset.
I didn't listen to that shit, but Karina and you told me it was trash.
Yeah, it was one up to par. I'll give
It was
you
like
that.
she rushed to make this shit.
I wouldn't even say rushed it. It was like they just were like, hey, we need another album real quick. And
Okay.
she like spent 2 weeks, and that's what she came up with.
So what was bad about it from what you were hearing?
Dog, the production just didn't match her. Her vocals did not match the production.
Really?
Like they were clashing with each other.
Really?
Like it just sounded so off. I mean, you had a track called Unbothered that was
Bothering?
decent. No. This one was actually one of the few.
She actually tried on that one.
And then you had Best Friend. I like Best Friend, but other than those two, it was
Yeah, because
like the track You with Remy Ma and French Montana. Like I almost skipped before I even got to Remy and French because just her voice was just clashing.
that sounds good on paper,
Right,
but
like it's just her for some reason. I don't understand the choices for these production selections. They weren't matching her style.
You know what's funny? Like people on Twitter were talking about people on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, Keyshia Cole dropped an album." I was like, "Oh, that's what you get." It was like, "Well, none of my timeline's talking about it. That's what you get when you block everybody. You're blocking your fucking coins." I was like, "Well, shit, she didn't block me."
Well, damn.
Well, I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing to her. I don't know how she gets pissed off at everyone.
But yeah, this is. I mean, y'all can listen if you want.
took another L with this album.
Yeah, if you guys can listen if you want, just to confirm. But this is honestly one that it ain't gonna be near your list.
Yeah,
of the year.
Well, and something that's better this was pretty much a surprise, but Young Thug and Future dropped an album together. Super Slimy, too. Was it Super Slimy? Yeah, Super Slimy. And surprisingly, I've kind of grown with Young Thug, kind of, with his music. I don't listen to him occasionally, but I've kind of tolerated him. And I can tolerate Future. So when people been wanting a Future and Young Thug collab project. So when it dropped, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to listen to it. And honestly, I liked it.
It was decent.
It was decent. It was good workout music. It was decent. Like the opening track, No Cap, when they were going back and forth with each other, I was like, okay. And all that smoke, that shit was pretty dope. Mm-hmm. And what's it called? Patek Water. How do you say it? Patek Water with Offset.
Patek Water. I don't know. I just know Offset came on, and I was like, oh my god, like this. This man is elevating with every featured verse he's on.
But a Drip on Me was dope too.
Yeah.
But another song that it was a Young Thug solo track. And you didn't like it. No. But for whatever reason, I liked the shit. And it's called Killed Before. And he sounded like you said, a leaned out Wyclef. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, it worked. For whatever reason, I liked the record. I had to hit up fucking Justin Davis, or Mr. OG Johnny 5, because he's a Thug fan. He's trying to get me to go over to the dark side. And I just told him, you son of a bitch, I might like this nigga now. And he put the evil smiley. So I was like, it wasn't that bad.
Nah, for me, it was the mixing engineer that hooked it up. That's why it actually sounded. I went back and replayed it and was trying to find elements as to why you said it, because initially when I heard it, I just heard Thug and I heard just a leaned ass Wyclef, and I was like, I ain't listening to this shit. I went back and listened to it. It's the mixing. The mixing. One thing I've learned in school so far, because we're in sequencing this month.
Yeah.
Mixing has what you hear as far as the actual music, as far as the production and the lyrics, that's only half the battle. Sometimes it's not even half the battle.
True.
The full-fledged battle comes in once the artists are done.
And they have to sequence the album.
Yes. That's when the battle really takes place. A lot of these records I'm going back and I'm listening to that I would have never given a chance before, I'm going through and I'm like, that's the listening appeal right there. It's the mixing. That's what's catching everybody's ear. Like it's the ear candy.
That's an art in itself of sequencing.
Right. Oh, I've even gone back to records I love, which sidetrack. Devil in the New Dress. Mm-hmm. I always try to figure out why I loved the way it sounded. When I go back and it dawns on me, because they distorted the good guitar solo. Like the guitar didn't sound like that initially. And also, they went through and distorted.
And also,
that.
If you really want to talk about sequencing and shit, it comes out to So Appalled, and the last thing you hear is Swizz B said, "It's fucking ridiculous. This shit is fucking ridiculous." And then the next track you hear Kanye say, "But I love it though." Right. I mean,
that's neither
here or there. But
for me, like you said, No Cap is dope. All Smoke. Patek Water was cool. Drip on Me and Real Love, those were obviously, if they're going to try to push this,
Yeah.
those are the ones that are going to get the video and radio treatment if they even decide to do that. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's good workout music.
And
This is
if
about
we want to
that.
do a little backstory, shout out to Steven on Twitter, or Sid TV on Twitter. He knows he had a little backstory about this album. So apparently, they've had this album done since last year. It was supposed to come out. No, it was supposed to come out like earlier this year, actually.
Interesting.
But I guess Future went on tour with Drake, and then what else was going on? Future went on, and then earlier this year, Future's dropped Future and then Hendrix and shit like that, and that's why Young Thug was kind of salty about that shit. Like, what the fuck? We have this shit just waiting for us, and you still don't want to release it,
right?
So I guess the timing was right, and they released it. So. And honestly, this shit was better than What a Time to Be Alive, if we're being really totally honest with this shit.
Yeah.
Like, Young Thug and Future, like, match up well with each other. Not like Drake and Future. That doesn't even sound right. This actually sounds like Young Thug and Future, not Future featuring Young Thug. You know what I mean?
I still feel Future was carrying this.
You feel Future carried. Everyone keeps saying that shit. I felt Young Thug actually.
But I will say,
I don't know if I'll say that shit.
I will say this. It definitely doesn't sound the way I described it when I said Future was carrying Drake on What a Time.
Yeah, well, that one was obvious.
Like
that one was painfully obvious.
There was at least there was somewhat of a balance on this.
Yeah, that What a Time to Be Alive was like obvious.
Right.
So anyway, if we continue with R&B.
Shout out to them. Yeah, we had an R&B.
I never thought you'd say that. Shout out to Young Thug. Ain't that some shit?
I didn't say shout out to Young Thug. I said shout out to them.
Young Thug included.
Well, them. You can take it however you want to take it. Back to the R&B tip. So for those who are familiar with the artist that's mystifying, mysterious, and all that,
she's being hella Weekend with the shit.
Right, her. I guess she combined both EPs,
her volumes, yeah.
Both the volumes from the H.E.R. series, and released one full-fledged project as the debut. I don't know if it's actually the debut or
it's like kind of like the
trilogy with Weekend
her
did.
Trilogy, yeah.
But I have been told great things about her.
I've been hearing a lot of shit on social media about her too.
And I added the volumes, and literally the next day she dropped this. So I was like, oh, go delete those out.
Delete.
I got one full project. I gotta admit, they not lying.
I listened to only one track. I'm gonna listen to him. Like probably after this, I'm gonna listen to it. But she did a cover of Arbery's Jungle. Sounded actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Same beat. You still hear Drake's ad-libs on it, so you can tell she probably asked for permission.
Yeah.
And I guess she's very mysterious because there's no, like, actual photos around of her. I mean, she's performed, and there's actual photos of her, so if you really do your research, you can probably see what she looks like. But she doesn't really have an interview. She doesn't have a lot of interviews. They're really pulling the Weeknd's, like, trilogy playbook with this shit.
Right.
It's kind of getting old, but...
I mean, the thing of it is if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's only a select few that could pull it off. She's one of them.
Yeah, she is.
When the time this opens up with Losing, lyrically, she's there, too. Like, you get some R&B artists that it's only vocal range.
Yeah.
No, she's got substance, too. Really works. Losing was a standout for me. Say It Again and Lights On were good ones. And then, of course, like I always say, I try to find that three-man weave. Try to find those 3 consecutive tracks.
Yeah.
Tracks 6 to 8, man.
And how many tracks were there?
So there was 21 altogether.
Yeah.
How
many minutes?
An hour 12.
No, but like every track, like 2-3 minutes and shit?
An hour, just less than 4. You got a couple that are over 4. But we get to Facts, Focus, and You. That's the 3-man weave right there. Those are 3 decent tracks. And You was the one that stood out to me because, like I said, when sequencing, we just got done learning everything that goes on with reverb. From the joints of this, hearing it, I heard everything I was taught right away, and I'm like, that's dope. Whoever mixed these vocals is the shit. Like, whoever brought those vocals to life. Like, it was real dope. Good record. Daniel Caesar's on here.
I heard, yeah. And
that was a real nice duet.
Okay.
Real nice duet. The song's called Best Part.
Now, isn't he the one that did Him?
No.
There was somebody. Who was the other nigga that did
he
did a response.
I don't care. Yeah, people
called it a response to her.
Yeah,
or whatever. He responds to all the tracks on there. Some people actually like that other half, but you telling me people were roasting.
No, because he literally took her whole vibe and was just every song was an answer song.
Yeah,
Like there was no originality.
Yeah,
Like it was literally a response to her. It was like
it's kind of a good idea on paper, kind of, unless he's doing it out of respect.
Nah, it wasn't no respect out of it. He didn't contact her,
Yeah, one of those.
Right.
Well, her. I gotta listen to her. I'm gonna make an effort to listen to her.
This is a really, really good album.
Yeah. Music is really wrapping up, and I'm still waiting on Marshall Matters.
Right. Actually, you've heard Best Part. Because Daniel Caesar put it on his album. You've heard it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So that was her. Huh. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of good music been dropping, man. A lot of good music.
Sid said that she's going back to the original studio, Odd Futures to be in. That's where they're gonna finish the Internet's next album. I'm wondering if that's gonna make the deadline. Like, or what I'm saying, like if it's one of those things where it's in post production,
or Grammy,
or if they
well, the Grammy fucking cutoff date is this month actually. So
right.
I don't think it's gonna drop this time.
Right.
We gonna see. I need to move that cutoff date later to probably the December because everyone be doing them surprise drops. Since Taylor Swift's dropping in November along with M, they may have to cut it like on Black Friday or some shit.
Right. Well, you know what this weekend is, right?
Oh yeah, it's your birthday.
It's the major.
it's Christmas for you.
For all our listeners, if you was paying attention, I believe to episode 60. I don't know if we did.
We talked it last week.
Was it?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Okay. We probably brought it up in episode 62. So check the last two episodes.
This is episode 62.
No, I said it's probably in episode 62.
Oh.
Yeah. Motherfucker. But again, prepare yourselves, okay? This weekend, we got the culture is dropping. Like, it's dropping. This is the culture's weekend, all right? We got Big Crit. We got Yellow Wolf. We got Ty Dolla $ign. We got Yo Gotti. All right, so it's a major. Look, you stay over there. All right, I got Southern in my soul. All right, so that's what we do. We turn up to Yo Gotti. Prepare yourselves, man. It's gonna be a festival. We're gonna give it to you next week for sure. Like we might just, I don't know. We might put the news to the back burner and might just start the episode off with the reviews. I don't know.
Just like how we did Kendrick. Well,
exactly.
with Big Crit, I am a Big Crit fan. I'm not like as a big a fan as you, but I'm excited for his album. This last album was what, Cadillactica?
Yeah.
And
then the mixtape was It's Better This Way.
Yeah, that was last year, wasn't it?
That was 2015. Yeah, no, 2015. Or was it last year?
It was last year because we kind of talked about it.
I'm excited because he dropped the features.
Who's featured?
Oh man! So of course we know it's a double album.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did is he didn't put the features up with the tracks. He put a picture, and he tweeted it, and the caption reads, "When the stars align."
So who the features?
Bilal, Jill Scott,
okay,
UGK, T.I., Lloyd, Sleepy Brown, this cat Keon Harold.
You said Chris Brown was on there?
No, Sleepy Brown.
Okay.
Lloyd. Robert Glasper, Joy, CeeLo.
A lot of soulful last
if you big into jazz, Kenneth Whalum is on this joint.
Wow.
Bernice Earl Travis II. So I mean, this is it. I'm excited. And the way he's broken it down, for those who haven't seen the covers, there's two different covers to represent the two different discs. So the first cover is of him. It's a picture of him standing in front of the moon. He's got his golds hanging from his teeth. Mm-hmm. And the top of it says Big Crit, and on the bottom it's Forever is a Mighty Long Time. When you go to the second one, it's of him with hands out in a form of praise and worship. And rather than Big Crit, it's Justin Scott with Forever is a Mighty Long Time. So he's broken these down. And the intro tracks for both. First disc is number one track, Big Crit. Second disc, Justin Scott.
So this is his.
So we going, man. I'm excited, man.
So you excited for this?
I tell you, Big Crit is in my top 5 right now.
Okay.
We're not talking about all time, but for right now, since this decade started, he's proven himself.
He really has.
Really is proven himself.
He really has. He's really underrated, man. It's kind of sad. It's a damn shame he's not where
and
he's not like where Cole is right now. He should be right. He should be like 1B with Cole. Right. If that makes sense. Like a double-edged sword.
And the thing of it is, too, is he's got the hits to back it up. Like, if you actually go back and look at his track record as far as both solo, feature, and even his production.
Music-wise? Yeah,
oh, man, he's there. He's left his stamp within the culture, for sure.
He has. He really has. And he's a great performer.
Easily.
Yeah. Just like I said, he should be right there with Cole.
Most
but
definitely.
Def Jam dropped the ball with that shit, in my opinion.
Right. And we're gonna give a quick shout out because yesterday was the 5th anniversary.
Speaking of Kendrick, yes, I'm about to
Good Kid, M.A.A.d City
turned 5 years old. The first classic of our generation, the first hip hop classic, universally acclaimed classic. Rather, you motherfuckers
you
like
think
it or
My
not.
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was?
Well, that's Kanye. I'm talking about with the new generation.
Oh, the new wave. Okay, gotcha.
I was like, come on now.
I was like, wait, man, there's some classics before this came out.
Yeah, but when it comes to the new generation,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that definitely.
Yeah, it was crazy when they were because I guess Punch did like a whole twit talking about it and shit. Anna Wise was on Instagram answering questions, and she responded to my message because she was talking about how she felt about being on the background for "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe." Mm-hmm. And I said something along the fact like, "Dan, that had to have been a humbling experience since he considered your vocals over Lady Gaga's." And she was like, "I don't want to say it was humbling." I was like, "What the fuck you call it then?" In my mind, I didn't say that.
Right, but you said it here.
Yeah, if she ever hears it. No offense if you ever listen to this, Anna Wise, but yeah, if he chose your vocals over, I remember when I first heard it, I literally thought that was Lady Gaga until I looked at the credits.
Well, it was because the word was that's what.
Yeah, she was
going to be on.
Yeah, she was kicking it with Kendrick.
Right,
tough, super tough. And then when you heard the original sample of it, the original version, I was like, yeah, I can understand why he didn't want her.
Right.
It was nothing offense. I mean, he could have easily did it to get buzz on him,
right,
but it could have ruined the record. He wanted to say, and one thing that Punch mentioned is like it was they wanted a Tarantino like feel,
right?
It felt like a film. Everything was out of order and shit like that. But when you listen to it, it plays cohesively, and Kendrick doesn't say one word until the last track,
right?
Which was, I was like, Compton. He said I'll be back in 10, 15 minutes. That was the only thing he said narrating wise. So,
for me, when it comes to this album, I knew after the first listen, this was going to be a classic.
We talked about this,
right? Just some albums, it's just
like
it is what it is.
I remember. Go on.
And so, took my walk yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Put this on, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on Twitter and I'm gonna make a thread real quick. I went back and just was trying to relive from memory what it was to listen to these tracks for the first time, and now listen to them 5 years later.
They aged great,
man. It's just goosebumps. Like
the album great. The album aged great, and just to think he followed this up with "To Pimp a Butterfly," and then damn,
you know what it is too. It's that he used this as the follow up to Section 80.
Yeah, if you want to get that technical with it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, granted, this was the mainstream debut.
It was what he really wanted to push out. This was his baby.
Granted, this was the mainstream debut, but if you figure, for those who are like, well, how do you go from this to Pimp a Butterfly? It's like, well, wait a minute, he went to this from Section 80.
Yeah,
and Section 80 and Pimp a Butterfly are more in alignment with each other.
This was more of a prequel,
right?
And Damn's really the true sequel to fucking To Pimp a Butterfly. If you really want to,
oh yeah,
shit. Damn.
Yeah, just going through it, and again, it's like you said, just the way it was narrated was perfect. Was he doesn't say a word in these flashbacks until
the last track, Compton.
Yeah. And one thing that always stood out to me, well, a couple things before we get to the main one. There were little things on these records that they had lasting impacts.
Like what? The skits?
I wouldn't even call them the skits. It's the actual records.
Oh yeah.
First of all, the fact MC8 is on here.
Yeah.
Like you just look at the track list, you're like, wait a minute, MC8.
There was only 3 features on this whole album. It was MC8,
J-Rock, Drake, and MC8.
Yeah.
Well, 4 because you had Dre.
Oh well, yeah.
So you're looking at a track that's like MC8.
I heard that nigga in San Andreas.
But then in the context of it,
it fit perfectly.
It was one of those things where it's like, damn, I didn't even know I needed that blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember when I first heard M.A.A.d City, the second half of it, MC8's verse was dope, but I was really listening to it, I was like, yo, Game should have been on this.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because it would have fit, but I think they were trying to take him back to the 90s.
Yeah, or Ice Cube, because the sample.
Right. But MC8 worked. He
was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know how Kendrick just thought, I want MC8 on this shit.
That's the mind of Kendrick.
For real.
Another thing was, again, for the fans, going back to Overly Dedicated in Section 80, Swimming Pools was everything that we said coming to life, which was he can make a record that crosses over without compromising who he is as an artist.
Exactly. Like I said, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
The next one was that J-Rock still got a top 10 verse from 2012 on Money Trees.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. Like, that's, you hear it again, and it's just like, damn, man. Like, that. It's one of those ones, you know how Kendrick always goes on his records and he's like, he starts stealing one? It's one of them ones where J-Rock just walks in and like, says, I'm a little nigga, and walks out the booth.
Little nigga.
And then what I thought was dope, too, was in Compton, you verbally hear Dre pass the torch. Let it be known. So that way, when it ends, Mom, I'm going to go run out real quick. I'll be back 10, 15 minutes. Perfect way to close that out. The overall with this was... The thing is I always go back to Sing About Me.
Of course. That's the highlight of the damn song. It's such a damn shame because he said he wanted Nas to be on that.
Right.
And that would have been so perfect.
There were 2 features on this and To Pimp a Butterfly where as great as they were,
it would have been so much better.
You think about the possibilities. And Nas on that one, and then Prince on
with Complexion.
Complexion.
And it was supposed to be Kendrick. Well, he would be on the record. It was supposed to be Rhapsody and Prince.
Prince only. Yeah.
Man, that would have been unfair.
Yeah.
Michael's better. But yeah, so Good Kid, Mad City. But I remember when I first heard the album for the first time. I remember when I was listening to it. I think I talked about this before, but I'll say it again. I listened to it, and when the album was done, I knew I listened to something special. I was like, I just listened to something, and I got excited. Like, okay, I got it. This was and then I looked at the cover because this played like a movie. So then I looked at the cover, and it said a short film by Kendrick Lamar. I was like, oh my god. So I read and re-listened to it. I read up. I'm like, oh my god, this was his first album. And I remember on Twitter, on social media, everyone was low key shocked on how good that album was. They people was giving it like they didn't want to give it 5 stars because they didn't want to say it was perfect. But when I was listening to it, I was really trying to like nitpick it, but it was nothing to nitpick.
Right.
It was perfection.
Even his flaws were perfect.
There were no flaws.
Well, when I say flaws, poetic justice. He still sounded trapped on that record.
Yeah, but Drake saved it.
But it was Drake coming in, and then the concept of it overall was it was like, you know what, whatever. You could even call Money Trees his verse on a quote unquote flaw because he kept it simple.
Yes.
But it was his focus on the melodies and allowing J-Rock to come in and bury it where it was like, you know what?
And it stayed in concept.
Right.
So when all those reviews were coming out, I'd be reading these great reviews and I see 4.5 out of 5. It's like, what do you mean 4.5 out of 5? Why can't you get? Oh, you need to wait to the test of time. We can't just put the stamp on it right now. I was like, why not?
You know the consistent of it. West Coast fans were already like, yo, we don't need to give it the test.
It was
of time.
the New York fans.
It was everybody else from
the South,
from the South, Midwest, and the East. Everybody across that way.
Oh, we gotta wait to see what he does next. We gotta wait.
Because there was a lot of people that were saying, "Nah, y'all just being West Coast biased."
We weren't being.
I was like, exactly.
I know what I heard.
Right.
I heard what I heard.
It's 5 years later, and
I still
we here to,
know.
we
And
here
I
to
heard
collect.
what I heard.
We here to collect. So you know what I'm saying? It's time that if you gave it a 4.5, or you said let's wait.
It's 5 years.
It's 5 years, y'all.
And people still talking about this damn album.
Right.
And he's already dropped another classic with To Pimp a Butterfly. So when that 5-year anniversary comes back, we're gonna revisit that topic.
We coming again.
And it's like, it's been 2 years already? Almost 3 years?
To Pimp a Butterfly?
Yeah.
It's 2 years. You got 3 more years before we come collect.
Yeah, I mean,
you rest assured we're gonna be back collecting.
For To Pimp a Butterfly, especially man, let's not get into To Pimp a Butterfly.
We can do a whole episode on that.
We already did.
We do another one.
Well, shit. On that note, I guess this is episode 62 of the Illogical Sense podcast. JC will be back in LA. I'll be still here in San Jose. And
I'm glad I came back though. It's my first time back since I moved.
Yeah, man.
It's home, man. It's always home.
I'm like home, it's hot as hell.
Yeah, man, it's like I came back thinking, all right, it's gonna be cool, and I brought the damn LA heat with me. 97 in LA last
As soon
week.
as you leave, it's gonna get cold again.
Yep.
Ain't that about a bitch? Anyway, episode 62.
For show, family.
Show, family. And of course, y'all waiting for me to say it, huh? Not this week.
Bye.